Hey there, rulers. Zeus had to change a lot of things in terms of how he approaches and finds his lethals, but he's still very, very strong. Let's go ahead and jump right in, seeing exactly what I mean.
This session brought to you by Odyssey Games for pre-orders and sealed product, CCG Prime for tons of singles and supplies, Cardo Doko for international rulers looking for product, and FowlLibrary.com for articles and wonderful deck lists. It's also brought to you by our guest lecturer patrons, Vite Ramen. Class is in session.
So this is the deck profile for our post-ban Zeus list. One thing that's different about this list is we've shifted this to being Fowfest legal, so we also took out the Warhorse. Warhorse was a very neat trick in the form of, like, anytime you were searching, you could then essentially order horse, which gave you this kind of really neat little interaction to be able to get that more utility off of it, which was very, very cool. You could essentially turn Zeus Enters the Game of Gods into 2 by, like, ordering the Warhorse off the search. But this is the list. It is, as you can see, the stone base is very, very different. It's very, very demanding and kind of diverse. The whole kind of idea with Zeus right now is it's a lot about finding ways to do draw discard, finding ways to get incremental value, and really sitting back until you have that lethal, as opposed to trying to rush through to Union 7 as fast as possible. You will get there. It will just take time. And that's kind of the whole point, is you want to take your time. So, you know, the package of, like, traditional Zeus stuff is pretty unchanged. 4 Zeus Enters the Game of Gods, 1 of each of the of Zeuses. Darkness of Zeus has actually come back into the deck because there's not as much Union 7 playing around, so it's not as risky. And it's also nice to be able to, like, pitch this off of a Mikage Rhea to then turn one of these on if you need to in your hand. Olympian-wise, we're playing every single Olympian in the main board, obviously, as much as we can. The essences, the main difference is because we've entered a Resonator-heavy format, Essence of Deus Ex Machina suddenly is much more viable. We have targets for this now that aren't J rulers, so this is a much more usable spell, and so it's worth doing the essence off of it. Horn of the Sacred Beast is still rocking it out, being able to recycle stuff. A new addition being Prototype Magi Trooper. It's one of the reasons why we're only playing a single copy of Ataroctia's Memoria in this deck, because we want to minimize the chances of going order Prototype, call stone, hit void stone, be out of the game. That can be really, really devastating. So it's helpful there to also be deck thinning, and it does give you those options where it's like, I really need to kind of order right now for free, and it gets you that option. Gil Lapis has made its way into my deck, copy of it mainly because of the fact that it can mill and buyback, which is very, very helpful. In a singleton deck, we're kind of leaning on that buyback more often. Guardian of Elsevaria is a nice little cycler. Sometimes your hands just get absolutely flooded with Olympians that you don't need. Gatekeeper helps to get rid of those and replace them with better cards, and also helps to accelerate towards Union 7. In a similar way, Attendant of Asmodeus is also coming into the deck in the main board, because there's a lot of additions in this format, and this also just helps to really accelerate, because we don't have Olympus to be able to make that happen. Oborozuki's still in the deck. Darkalis still in. Darkalis is kind of off and on. I've definitely brought her back into the deck, though, because she helps to accelerate Union 7 more, and we need that. Another thing that you'll notice is we have a couple of new one-drop additions in the form of Rabbit of the Aquamoon and Android Harlot. That's because they both have this one-cost, really easy to order methodology, and they can banish themselves to draw and discard. So they work really well to order them and then unorder them when we want. That also helps accelerate Union 7. Pierre is great because it's the same kind of idea. You can use it to pop the additions that are in the format, which is very nice. You also can use a very neat trick with Pierre where you order him, swing, deal damage, but then before he exits combat, there's like a weird window where Pierre can shoot himself. So like after he's done damage, he's still attacking. So then you can have him shoot himself and then unorder. It doesn't come up very, very often, but it is something to note. And then from there, it's the usual kind of package of stuff. Some recent additions become Spinning Aquasoul, because again, we can buy back stuff nicely. So being able to buy back Light of Zeus or Zeus Enters the Game of Gods is very helpful. Calico Cat is also another addition because it helps us to be able to kind of tuck stuff back into the deck, because we don't have the ability to do that. So you want to be able to recycle your Olympians. Calico Cat helps make that happen. Stone base wise, it's pretty standard. 4 Moonshade and then this kind of amalgamation. The other 6 stones are very much in flux. It's based on kind of what your tech choices are and what you feel comfortable with in your testing. So by no means feel obligated to play the same stones we are outside of the 4 Moonshade. But that is it. Zeus is still a ton of fun. Honestly, some of the best games that I have enjoyed playing still be with Zeus in the post-ban list world. It is a lot more challenging, but it's a lot more rewarding and a lot more interactive. So let me know what you guys think about Zeus in the new format in the comment sections down below. And until next time, this is DMO73 saying class dismissed.